welcome back. So I'm not going to give you the full lockdown workshop, because hopefully we'll just be carrying on off the back of the one we've just done. I think. I can't remember where we got to. So it might be a new episode, it might be part 2. Where are we? So we were waiting a decision on what to do with this. The chain's absolutely knackered. It's taken this away. Those teeth are properly sharked out. We've also got issues with the back cog. Definitely the first gear, you can see it's elongated. If you zoomed in on that where my finger is, right, those teeth are elongated. That one, and that one look elongated as well. So basically what we're looking at there is, as soon as we put the power down, if we put a new chain on, it's just going to start jumping. So the decision was, do we just leave it as it is? I've fixed the gears, walk away from it, let it ride it until it completely eats itself and the chain goes and dies altogether, or just sell it as it is now. But they've done the right thing. They've decided to get some new bits. So let's go and have a look at what we've got. I'll just pop you in the stand, if I can remember to put you in the right way round, because I didn't just then. Oh, we've got all fuzzy. It's got all fuzzy vision. It's still all fuzzy vision. Come on, camera, get a grip. Let's get you up a bit and down a bit and shift the bag out of the way. Nobody wants to see the bag. So the workshop's still in a bit of a mess. We're still chasing our tails with a lot of the jobs that we've got going on in here. It does sound like I'm making excuses. I did clean all my stuff, and I did an inventory on this, and I'll be honest, most of my syringes are pretty much past it. You might have seen last time I was struggling to do the bleeding, so I treated myself. So we'll do a quick product review. I haven't used it yet. Biking came off Amazon, I think. There's a couple of syringes. That's quite a decent one there. Actually, that's a good idea. That for when you bleed in the top, use it like a reservoir, like you would do on your motorbike or your car, rather than dragging the syringes. You're just pulling it down from the bottom, or pushing the air out and then sucking it back down again. I rather like that. It's got a massive, great big syringe as well. It's got some things for shoving in the brakes. It's got a couple of clamps for clamping the cables down as well. There's all sorts in here, loads of goodies, loads of things, even some gloves for you to put on. So there's a whole load of stuff that I'm missing or I've busted. Nice little spanner for doing up the things, and some standard size Torx bits as well. So that's alright, it's all in one little nice and neat box, so that can go in the bleeding kit. And given I was having a lot of trouble, because I've never had problems getting the nozzles in, I've actually bought a proper hose clipper. Well, I haven't. This came free in the kit. I probably wouldn't have bought it because I've got the other one, but that looks okay. What it does do though is it does support the cable, so it's less likely to crush it. And I treated myself to this. So what you do is you put your cable in there, you clamp it in there, you drop your pin in on the end of there, and then you wind it in and it forces it in, rather than me having to heat the cable up and then try and press it in. But like I said, never had a problem with that before. Normally crushing the olive pins the centrepiece in play. So let me just go and stick all this lot back in the cupboard. Just talk amongst yourselves while I brave the cupboard of doom. I'll show you the cupboard of doom one day, but not at the moment. I'm not ready to mess up on that. So that's all brake bleeding kit in there. I'll probably have to put that in a bigger box at some point. I've got oil coming out of my ears at the moment. So as part of the donation we got from Kate, I've got a whole load of oils. So I was just doing a bit of consolidation into the bigger cans I've got for the ones that were in smaller cans, because then I'm not filling up my thing. Also treating myself to an oil can, because I kept knocking the other one off and I've broken the end of it. That's the missing battery I've been looking for. Amazing what you find when you tidy up, isn't it? We'll just pop that in there then. Turn that on. Drop that in there. That's a screwdriver. Right, what else have we got then in the box? Parts. Am I missing a part? I might be missing a part. There should be a chain somewhere, which I thought I'd already fetched down, but I don't know where it is. I'm probably going to have to go and play hunt the chain now then. So we've got a new rear cassette. I thought they were going to be quite expensive, but we've dropped on lucky there. I think it was about I can't remember. It was either 24 or 30 quid, a lot less than I thought it was going to end up being. So that's alright, brand new one of them. We also dropped on one of these. Now this I did think was going to be expensive because nobody's selling this now. It's a discontinued part. But again, I dropped on lucky. So it's an import from Germany. It is a genuine Shimano, and it's got the proper bolts as well. So we can get rid of those nasty looking things that were in there. There we go. So there's some mixed reviews on this online when I bought it, and I did wonder whether it was possibly a knockoff one, but I did check with Amazon. They said no, it's going through a verified supplier. They are shipping them from Germany. You can see it's genuine. It's all stamped up with the proper Shimano logos used in the Shimano fonts. And the reason people were complaining and saying they were fake was because they got different sized teeth and they didn't like it had been pressed properly. Honest to God, imbeciles. That's all I can say. Shimano, SRAM, most of the top brands, even for these low-end chain sets, have indentations. They have different sized teeth. They have shaping on the teeth. They have rounded off teeth. It's all part of the smooth chain pickup system. So obviously these are, I don't know. I don't even know how to, refer to people that are just. There was about 20 reviews and they were all saying the same thing, that it was all fake. Avoid this seller. All the teeth were different sizes. I've never seen anything like this before in my life. And you've obviously been walking around with your eyes closed because I've been doing this for the last 20 odd years. So as far as I'm concerned, there's nothing on here that suggests these are fake. Casting marks about what I would expect to see. It's got the fonts and the correct numbers on there. The fonts are fine there. It all looks good. No reason to suggest that's a fake. You would know straight away. The quality of the pressing wouldn't be as good. It wouldn't have those indentations for starters. It would just be a shit CNC'd or pressed out thing. Yeah, they look okay. I mean, it's even got the casting number on it, so there's nothing wrong with these. So we'll get them banged on tonight. I don't know why I feel like I'm shouting. I think it's because I've been doing too many course sessions and I've actually been shouting. Souvenir bit off the previous camera. So right, I'm going to have to stop now and go and find out what's happened to this chain, because one of the first things I need to do is, I'm going to make a decision. We either put that on, or we put the chain on, because that's all we've got to do tonight. So let's go and find the chain. Right, I've decided on my battle plan. And my first battle plan is to stick your mic back in, because I forgot to put your mic back in. So this is what I've been using for the last few videos. Instead of the radio mic, I've been using the radio mic for the club, so I'll probably have to just but I'll just stop you rather than rattling. Are we back? Right then, so the first job. I haven't checked to see if these wheels are buckled actually. We're not going to detect like that, are we? Actually, they're not too bad. So the only thing, if you remember, that was wrong with these was they were missing one of the springs. So let's just move these out of the way so I don't lose any of this. We'll go and put it in the to-do pile over here. Get my shitty cloth out. Right, so first job, let's get that off. Let me grab the tool. I know you've seen me do this countless times, but you get to watch me again. For those that haven't seen it, just take the spindle out. I think I'll stick a bit of oil on that before we put it back together. It felt a bit graunchy. You know what? It's that cold, I'm going to put my hat on. Oh, I feel like watch Wes works now. Oh, right first time. That's my dyslexia kicking in again. Come on. Oh, right. That was not torqued up. So I suspect there's been a bit of wear. New tool, because I wanted to keep the thingy, so there's another one of these Ice Tools ones. These are really good products on Amazon. They're quite cheap, a little bit more than the Chinesian ones, but they are really good quality. I've got a couple of these now, so every time I need a new tool I try and get one of theirs off Amazon. So I'm not in any way sponsored by them either or anything, before anybody starts grassing me up to the Facebook police, YouTube police, whatever. The freewheel looks a bit manky. Alright, so we'll just chuck that off over there. Give this a quick clean. I could squirt a bit of degreasant on this, but it's not worth it. It's most of it's coming off, and it'll be in a right mess again within 2 seconds. Freewheel hub looks a bit suspect. Don't really want to get into that. Just have a look at the seals on the wheel as well, because we decided that we were going to have a look at them because they were a bit graunchy. So I might just tear into that now. Just want to get all the muck out of the way before we start stripping it out, so it doesn't go into the bearings. Right, so I seem to remember there was we tried oiling them up. Actually they do feel a lot better now, so it might be that they just want a bit of... They are very noisy though. I think we'll play on the safe side. Let me go and get a tin, and I will we'll strip this out, get all the bits into there. So let me go and get my cone spanners. Now we've got a proper set of them too. And remember which ones we need. Somewhere in here there's a full set of cone spanners, but can I find them? I think we've got them all now. I guarantee the one I don't pick up will be the one I want. Right. Keep meaning to buy a set of ball bearings, like I've got these. So they're the ball bearings that go in the three wheels. So I was thinking about getting a set of them for the kind of the standard sizes that we're using, because there's still a lot of these cone and cut ball bearing sets coming through, and they are invariably starting to show their age by the time they hit me. Like this one, it's starting to grumble now. I think we've caught this one just in time. I don't know if it's worth getting that out and having a look at that. That feels alright. There's a bit of noise on it, but I think it's... You can hear it's mainly that's making a noise. And there is a little bit of play in it. It was supposed to have a little bit of play in it anyway, but probably not that much. Right, it's definitely not that one. Right, so we're going to need a 19... possibly a 17, so 15 or 16s, it's not that one. We've got an 18. No, an 18's too big. So it is a 17. I've just binned the 17 off. What have I? Oh, got another 19. Right, so we've got a 17. So that's okay. The question is, right. I suspect that's a 16 because that's off something else. Let's just have a look at this one. Nope, so we're definitely not on the 19s. The only reason I got two 19s was because I don't have I don't have a 19 that fits any of the ones that need a 19, but these are definitely 17s. So I have got some 17s that I cut. So that's the 17 that I cut and made out of an old spanner. That's the 17, that's the 18, that won't work, so we need to get that over there. Let me just have a quick grab out the kit that I wasn't supposed to be grabbing things out of. Let's see if there's a 17 in here. I think these are both 15s and 16s in here. 15, 16, 13, 15. So they're no good. So as per usual, I'm coming to do this job and I still haven't got a set of spanners because we've got yet another size. The problem is there's too many standards. Most of them should be 16s, but of late we've been getting the odd ones coming in that are more. So that's okay, that fits on. That is actually a 17, which means there should be a 17 on here really. I did cut that one as a 19 because I didn't have a 19 at the time. That's definitely, yeah, that's definitely a... Right, this is why you never get rid of these old cheap spanners, because they're really good as cone spanners. What we'll find when we get these off is that the cone is something entirely different. So, always attack the side that's opposite to the freewheel. I'm still shouting, aren't I? I've had a cold all week as well. So let's have a look what that is. Let's see what's in there. Right, that is definitely a 15 or a 16. (16) 15, right, so that's okay. There we go. Of course it's slightly chewed up. Why would it not be? So I try and stack them up in the order they come off. There's same on both sides on that one. Come on. Right. So we need to be really careful now. Now I really don't want to have to take the seals out because the seals are the seals, once you pop them out, they generally get deformed. Having said that though, that feels quite tight, that one. Oh, that's a hard seal. That's why that one. So all I need to do now is I'm not going to give them a clean. I'm going to see if we can get away with just packing them with a bit of grease. Oh, I did find the chain. Come on, grease gun, where are you? Ah. Da, da, da. we're just going to pack this full of grease. Only time it's acceptable to squirt yellow red grease all over the place. Now what we need to do now is do a bit of jiggery pokery. Wind it in a little bit, and then we're going to quickly flip it so the bearings don't fall out. And then reverse it, undo it again. Now with this one I might have to hold the cup in the bottom and and slide this a long way out. I haven't really got some good light on there. Oh, I can see it. No, we're alright, we're good. That's it. Yeah, definitely right with that. They're normally rubberized seals, but for some reason these are using a different method. So what you do is you do it up to a tight, and then you back it off a quarter of a turn. There'll be loads of people saying that's not how you do it. Yeah, I know. But you need a bit of play, but then you've got to feel it and decide whether that's the right thing to do. So what you normally do is do it up as tight as you can get it, rotate it round a couple of times to let the balls and the grease and everything seat in, and then turn it back. I'd normally say a quarter of a turn, but this one feels really slack, so I'm going to go 1/8 of a turn this time. Because what's going to happen is when I tighten this up, it's going to compress against the thread, so it's actually going to make it tighter. And the other thing I've got to watch out for is the shaft doesn't move. So I will move you over here, and we will set up over there. So the trick is now is to get it's just to pinch the, that's not going to work with them in, it's to pinch the bolt. So that can't spin round. Has it got that? Yeah, it's got that. Right, so I can feel a bit of play there. What's going to happen when I bear down with this nut? It's going to take that play away. Play away! You have to be a certain age, definitely have to be a certain age for that one. Saturday afternoon kids, Saturday evening kids TV. So make sure you are locked in on this and you don't disturb it when locking in as well. That's it. So we're going to hold that there. The axle can't spin, especially with this being a bit tight. Because you're doing it up, you'll find you're flipping, spinning the axle in this bit underneath. So we're going to have a little experiment now. I'm just going to nip that up gently. See if there's any play. Not much play. Call that a win. That sounds really smooth. That's the sound of it running on the freewheel. See if I can get it in a bit better. Right, there's a little bit of grumble there still. No play, so that's good. I'm more bothered about the play we had in it. No, I think we're good there. Give that grease a chance to work in and do its magic. Right then. I don't know if we're recording or not now. Anyway, it looks like it's recording. Keeps knocking off. I don't know whether it's something stupid I'm doing. But that's running a lot better now. Freewheel's going good. Let's get this on. Right, and apologies if you've already seen this. I don't think you have. Looks original compared to the old one. Writings as usual. Looks pretty good. On the back they do look fairly basic. That's just the nature of the beast. I have checked it against the existing one. And it looks almost identical. All the rivets are exactly the same. All the sculpted teeth are where they should be. It's got all the teeth numbers written all the way through. So I'm more than confident that that's the right one. Now the two schools of thought on this one. Whether you should grease or oil your stem or not. Normally I would just smear a little bit of grease on, but we'll just put a bit of oil on because I've got a new toy. It does all you're after is just something to help keep this from, you know, to keep this running on here smooth. There's no moving parts on here as such, but if you've got like a layer of oil over it, it's more there for protection, for corrosion than anything else. So it's not there to stop it from wearing, it's just to stop the corrosion. I've got to find the big one now, and I've got to find the big one on there. So if you can't remember, one of these slots is indexed big, so you can't get it wrong, and it just goes straight on. And then this, you can only put it on one way round. If you try and put it on the wrong way round, it won't fit. So now all I've got to do is find the big one, because as I've done normally is I put it on and I feel the need to spin it. Right, so that's it. So all we need to do now is just chuck that on. Go and get my little ice tool thing. So these are quite a high torque setting. So to make sure it's seated, these are a very fine thread. Just twist it backwards until you feel it drop into the thread, and then turn it the other way. Always turn it with your hand first. That's why there's knurling on the good quality ones. Right, that's starting to bite. Get your torque wrench. I don't advise doing this one without a torque wrench because you want to make sure it's gut and tight. And also it should be set to the right one because it's the only one I'm doing at the moment. So 40 Newton meters. Right, most important thing, always use the whip when you're putting them back on, because everybody thinks, oh, I don't need it when I'm putting them back on. That's exactly when you need it. So I'm doing this, I'm not letting it fight against the racket, because if you try and do this up against the racket, there's a chance you'll damage your freewheel. That's it, we're in. Job's a good one with that, so that can go back on the bike. All we've got to do now is take the chain off. Right then, let's get that one off. Big one. So that's an 8, I think. Is that right? 8, yeah. Should be a standard thread because it's for locking. Let me put that gizmo in my pocket. Oh. There we go. I was about to go and get the rat-a-tat-tat on it. So I'll put new bolts in. There you go. Parts bucket. And the special tool. Oh, New oil can. Have I mentioned I've got a new oil can? So these threads can sometimes be a bit mullered, especially if somebody's been in there that shouldn't have been in there. But that feels like it's going. Just always make sure this is backed out. What you don't want to be doing is screwing that in, think you've hit the bottom, because you want to get the maximum number of threads. They are fine threads, and there's a risk that you'll rip them out. So that's it. So all we're going to do is just drive that in or pull it off. It's a square taper behind there. Where did I put that down? There we go. That's helpful. Not. Nope. Is it a 15? Nope. Oh, that was a 16, that's why. Right. Now you don't have to drive it off. What you can do is, once you've got it so far, if you just give it a tap, it shocks it off, because you're putting pressure on it. There, it's gone now. We're just pulling it off. There you go. And one mullered chain ring. It's mainly the big ring, because I think young Alex mainly uses the big ring, but this is what I was saying, it's riveted in place, so you can't just take the big ring off and replace it. The whole of that mechanism all the way down to the middle that all these are riveted on is that big ring. So even if I bust all the rivets off, I've still got to rivet it. I've still got to get one of them, which you can't buy, and then I've got to rivet them back onto it. So unfortunately, that's the way. You can see that one's really bad, that one's bad. They're all really bad, to be honest. It looks worse on that side. You can see they're all folded over. When you compare it to the new one, where they all look nice and crisp, they've all got strong V's, there's no leading edges, there's no shark's teeth going on there. So we'll just take a quick opportunity here to give all that area a quick clean, which I'll, oops, since we've taken that off, you've got nothing to focus on. Is that better for you? Get me horrible, disgusting oily rag out. Is there a split pin on there? I doubt it, because I don't think this chain's ever been off. So we'll just pop that out of the way now and I can give it a good clean. Get our nasty O out. This is the cheap, actually I shouldn't be using this one because this one's really for the BMX. Doesn't matter which link I pop out. Here we go. Just drive it all the way out. That's it, it's gone. So don't chuck the chain away yet, because we're going to need that. We're going to have to measure that in a minute. That gives us a bit better access in there just to clean all this lot up now. Have a look at the bottom bracket. It feels alright, that. It does look like it's got some kind of a more substantial seal to it to keep the muck out. So it's got an outer and an inner seal, rather than just a hope for a best seal, or even just open bearings like I've seen on some of them. I say if there's something that this bike would benefit from, it's a group set upgrade. I think that's possibly the only thing that lets this bike down is the group set. It's actually quite a decent quality thing. I'm a bit concerned about a little bit of wear there, so it's always good to have a look at these. So it's possible that this has been running with not quite adjusted. It's not been torqued up properly, so we will make sure we put some grease on there. So again, red grease, and I'm sure the comments will be full of it, but I will argue now that if you buy a brand new setup, it's covered in grease already. So the bolts are covered in grease, the square taper's covered in grease in the shaft. So you are supposed to grease your shaft to make sure that it gets drawn on properly. This is where we find out it doesn't fit, or it's got a 90 degree. It's at that angle. Won't be the first time. No, that looks fine. This is the slightly upgraded version of it because it's got a chain ring built into it. What I will do is I will take the plastic off the existing one, and then if young Alex doesn't want that chain guard on, or he breaks it, we can take it off and replace it with the one off the other one. They just unscrew. So there's a couple of screws which I can't quite see. Or does it clip? I think it clips. Yes, it clips. That's got screws because the outer edge of it screws in. So these holes you see there, and there that are countersunked, they're the screws to keep that supported. The rest of it's on just some little teeth in there, so we'll pop them out and we'll save that and rescue it. We have also got to get the pedals off, which perhaps I should have done before I took the thing off. Hey ho! What do I need now? I need the centre screw there tipped out. Yeah, that's the one. And a torque wrench. We'll get the big wrench on it first and then torque wrench it. I forgot to grease them. So you want grease on the threads of these as well, because they're going to be quite heavily loaded up. So you're going to be pulling 40 newtons worth of torque across a thread. I mean, okay, these are titanium bolts going into a high tensile steel axle, but you want to give it all the help it can get. And I believe these are also at least 140. Sorry, at least 40 newton meters again. Get the big one on there. Just remember to put that dust seal back on the axle of the bike before I forget. I hate this. There we go. Right, just repeat the process on the other side. You probably don't need to. That's it, and as if by magic, they're all on. Sounds okay. A little bit of bearing noise there, but it's to be expected with the type of bearing. While you were off camera, I did get the pedals off. One of the axles was a little bit grumbly, but it's fine. I'm going to put some copper slip on though, because we've got two dissimilar metals, and let's not make ourselves or the next bloke's life a little bit more difficult. So we just put a bit of copper slip on there. What that does is that stops the galvanic interference between the two dissimilar metals, because that can be a bit of a nightmare. This one's absolutely smeared with oil as well, because I've just doused the filled the bearing cap full of grease and oiled up the other bearing as best I can. I didn't want to strip them down, it's not really worth it for these. Once the bearings go in these, they're generally gone, so you just replace the whole pedal. You've got no chance trying to clean them out and service them, they're just not designed for that. So you'll never get them back together again. I'll tell you that now from experience. So left, right hand side, so it's a right hand thread. So assuming I've got the right one on. Yeah, it feels okay. Again, if you're having to force these on, you're not doing it right. There goes the chain. That's another reason why it's easy to do with them on the bike, because you can just spin it round, especially for some of these that don't have an Allen key hole in the back. If you've got them, you know what I'm on about. That's it. You don't need to over tighten them as well, because they're designed to self tighten. That's why this one has a left hand thread on. So I have to remember to do this one as if I'm undoing it. And the other thing we'll need to do as well is put the speed and cadence sensor back on, because I've just realised that's off as well now. Oh, there we go. Oh, let me go rescue that. So that's tie wrapped on. It's a Wahoo as well. Good one. When I saw it, I thought it was a Duo Sport one or whatever. Nothing wrong with them, I've got them. But the Wahoo ones are generally better quality. Snips. So I can find some nice little oops. So if Steve's alright with it, we'll keep hold of that one and add it to the parts bucket for somebody else in case anybody breaks one or we get one coming that's got strip threads. It's no wonder the workshop's a mess. I just chuck everything on the floor. Climb over all the debris and detritus again round the back of the camera. Hello internet. Of course it would help if you put these in the right way around, Marky Mark. Give it somewhat of a chance, as Jacob would say. Am I missing something here? Why is this not tightening up? Yeah. I was hoping to put some nice dainty ones on, but we have to go up a size, I'm afraid. Put U2s back in there because we don't want to waste them, because it's not like I haven't got enough. I'm running out of tie wraps. Oh, they're a bit overkill. They look the same size as them. Come on, we must have some better ones than that. Come on, stool, get out of the way. Got it back. No, looks like that's it. Oh, now they're all over the place. Got tie wraps everywhere. Oh, that's what I want, that size. Why have we got some more of them? That's exactly the size I want. There we go. Da da da. It's windy in here tonight. That's better, it's catching that one. Remember, we need to try and get the tying bit so it's round there, out of the way of his legs, because what you don't want to do is be scratching your legs on that, because that'll make you scream. For consistency, we'll do it on the same side, because that would drive me crazy. Still managed to do it different. Where's my little nippers? There you are. God. Oops, sorry, just kicked you in the head. Ping! Ping! Right, nearly there. We're so close, I can smell it. Let's get this back wheel on. Let me shift you out. I did say I was going to put a bit of grease on this, and there just happens to be a load of grease that's fallen out of this grease gun over here, so we'll use that. But you don't, I could just use any grease on this, because again it's not a bearing surface, it's just to keep muck and crap from causing it to seize up. And I've just dropped, oh, I can't believe I've done that, that's a brand new one as well. I saw it fall down, how have I managed to lose that? I have to go raid the parts bin again. How can I possibly lose that? I saw it hit the floor there. No idea. But I have spotted a screwdriver I lost. There's a pair of handlebars under there as well. I wonder what else is under there. Oh, there it is. Got it. It's zebedied all the way over there. Ah, just knelt on something. Right, let's try that again, shall we? Pointy end in, fat end out. Always a good rule in life. Before we go any further, let's just get a bit of cleaner going on that. Where's my scabby cloth gone? I shoved it in my pocket. The come on, get a grip. There we go. Yeah, so you can see these are pretty shonky. I was tempted to swap it for the Tornays. There's not much difference between the Acer and the Tornays. This one looks okay, it's not too bad. I did think it was quite worn at the beginning, but I think most of it's just this sticky grease again that's on it. So, you know, I could chuck some fairly heavy duty chemicals at this and it won't shift it, so I'm just going to have to pick it off with my nail, which means I'm going to have scabby nails for the next 4 days. But it's definitely that sticky grease. You can see it's built up a ridge, so that won't be helping. That'll be and that's probably what's contributed towards the chain dying as well, because it traps it just becomes like a grinding paste, almost the same stuff you use for lapping valves on a car. There we go, I've got most of it off. Right, let's get this wheel on. Move you back so you can see what's going off. We'll have a different position this time. I think you'd like it there much better. Like I could stand in front of you and block your view. Get out of the way, lad arse. too tight. So if you remember, this had the axles done up way too tight. Maybe a little bit tighter than that. You should be able to undo them without having to force them or go and get a tool. Right. That's alright, no issues there. Not too sure about what that's doing, but hey ho. Right, next job. Measure the chain. So I think you've seen me do this before. I'll bring it. Right, might as well show you what we're using. KMZ Z8.3 chain, 8 speed, 7 speed, they're both the same. Are they the most expensive chains in the world? No. Are they the cheapest chains in the world? No. They're just a good average price chain. And when you see what they're charging Shimano chains for, like 20-30 quid, even for 8 speeds, it's ridiculous. I think that was about £9, £10. You know, they've gone up a bit, but they're brilliant. The links that come with them are good. They're easy to work. They've got a nice profile. They seem to work really well with Shimano and SRAM. I've been using them as a bit of an experiment, especially when we couldn't get Shimano chains for love nor money, and I'm actually seeing that they're probably lasting a bit longer than the Shimano chains. I haven't got enough experience for the SRAM chains yet. So normal trick. Let me move you back so you can see what I'm up to. So normal trick, what I do is I get the link. Forget about that link because I'm going to replace that with the thing. Run your hands down until they start to get out of line. Reline it back up. Do the same again. Run your fingers down, link for link, all the way down till they're out of line again. Because obviously this chain is really badly stretched. I'm having to massage it quite a lot with my fingers to get it to line back up again. Keep going until you get to the end. It really is. It's probably about 4 links. No, not 4 links. It's probably about 2 links longer over the length of the chain. Right, so we need to take it off at that one. So fold it over and then there's no chance you're going to get it wrong. That's definitely going in the bin. Go on the other ones. Right, we'll get the posh one out for this. This is my favourite. Right, so do not take your eye off that link. Shove it in there. Wangle that round. Make sure it's sitting right so you don't damage your thing, and just pop it out. You don't need to push it halfway through and save it because we've got a split link for this, or a what they call it. I don't know what they call it. It's got a funny name. It's a split link effectively, but they slide together. Right, we're going to need that in a minute. That's the special hook for hooking the chains. Oh, should we go this way around this time? Oh yeah, I forgot to mention. What you want to be doing is looking for any marks on the chain that tell you that there's a direction of travel. The other thing I like about these is there's no direction of travel. So we'll go this way first to make sure that we get it over the right part of that really annoying thing that I always get it on the wrong side of. Thread it all the way around. God, that went on with no dramas. Now normally I'd have it a bit lower than this, but like a numpty I forgot to set the gears properly before I took it off, so we're just going to have to make do with it like this. So what you'd normally do is put it on the little ring on the front, little ring on the back, and then it just makes life easier to put it together. I'm going to go and get my chain squeezers. Right. So in the kit, amongst other things, you get 2 locking plates. Missing link, there you go, that's what they're called, missing link. Split pin for everybody else, split link. Missing link. Now these normally have a direction on as well. These don't, so that's even better. The Shimano ones definitely do, but I never really understood that. Right, I need to be careful here because there's a bit of sawdust stuck to the end of that one. Right, so that's in there. If you think about it, it doesn't make any difference. I think they just like putting arrows on things. Right, if you're out in the field, you can get away with just doing that and they'll lock together. Actually, these I've just done exactly that. When I wriggled it apart, I'll just check it is in. But the Shimano ones, you really have to welly them apart to get them to go in. That's it. No, they're fine. The good thing about these is you can actually take them off in the field. The Shimano ones are really hard to get off in the field, or in the middle of the towpath or the chain, wherever you are. Right, let's see where we are. Come on, settle down. I think we need to wind that out a bit. We probably need to undo the we need to undo that. So this looks like it might be in a slightly different place to the other one. It's slightly more out, which it shouldn't be because it's exactly the same. So I suspect what we were having before was the chain was in such a bad nick, and I can't remember whether I actually tuned this front bit in, whether I bothered with it, because I knew we were going to take it all off. I'm just waffling now. Let me just find a screwdriver. Bring it. Right. So don't bother mucking about with the thing. It's in low. I'm going to pull on this just to check I've got the full drift of travel, and I obviously haven't. So this takes any adjustment out of it. It won't go up because it physically can't get up because of that screw that's wound right in. So I suspect there was something going on before with that other chain. Let's just have a couple of turns. Right, that's up now. Down. Ah, that's better. Actually, I do wonder whether that's had a bit of a knock. It's catching the side of there. So I think what we'll do is we'll just slacken that off. I'll take all the tension out of it as well, because what I don't want to do is for it to pull it. That's it, with all the tensions out now. I think it's a 10.5, isn't it? It's a 5. I really know it's a 5. So all I'm going to do is just slacken it off and just twist it round a bit. It looks like it's kicked that way slightly. It might have had a knock. Or quite possibly it just was never fitted right. So that looks in line with the chainring now, which it didn't before. So with the Shimanos, they always sit in line with the chainring. Probably over tightened as well, because because that was definitely over 6 Newton meters when I took it off. Ah, yeah, I wound this back out, didn't I? So just take it so it's just starting to lift it. Oh, look at that, like butter. Right, let's give you the full panoramic. Right, let's go for middle ring. Right, now that still needs to come out more. I want to get it so it just goes on the click. There you go, I haven't had to over reach that. Let's take a little bit more out of that. What I don't want to do is let it just so it's... Take that back in again now. That's fine. That's better. It was hanging a bit before. Yeah, it's coming straight off now. Lovely. Right, let's get it back on the middle ring. Let's just check the front and back, the back one now. Right, that's hanging a bit. So just take that in one turn, one notch. Oh, that's going up, down lovely now. Down. Beautiful. I think that's a winner. I think we're done. Our work here is done. I think we've just got to tighten up the headset. Was it on the headset on this one that needed doing? No, the headset's good on that one. I must have already done it. We've still got the question of what to do with the lock off. If you can remember, we've got a bit of a wobbly lock off going on here. We're going to focus on there. The light's terrible. Sorry, it's really black on black. But that's just, there's no indexing on that. The battery's running out as well. Right, let's get your battery sorted out. On the trick again where I forgot to press it. So yeah, I've had a quick look at that. I'm not going to touch it. I do need to get onto the Suntour site and just have a look at how to get them off. I can't work it out. They are what they are. They're probably a bit dated as far as forks go now. Even the Decathlon ones have got air shocks in the piston and a fully damped cylinder. These are partially damped, so these do have damping on the down, but they don't have a rebound damp. So there's no rebound switch under there at all. But you can clean them, do the oil with them. So if we decide we're going to do it, we'll probably take the whole thing out and give them a quick service. But my experience with these Suntour ones is you're probably better off leaving well enough alone, because when you get into it, you'll almost certainly find out that the bearing material in there, I can't remember what they call it now, the bushing in there is only plastic, and they do tend to wear. And once you go in, you kind of, as soon as you take it out, they come apart and you can't put them back in because they're worn. So again, I'll keep well out of that one. If it works, leave it alone for them, I think, for the time being. Right, I think we can part this one then. What else have we got? So anyway, let's do a proper wrap up, shall we? Do I need my stool? Shall I get my stool? Yeah, let's get the stool. Oh, it's not getting any warmer in here. At least I'm sat with my back to the fire. So here we have it. Pinnacle Capur in rather a fetching olivey kind of green colour, and we've saved it. Quite happy with that. I'm glad they made that decision. I think the parts bill in total was less than £100. So I think if I go back in the video, you'll see when I initially found everything was knackered, I did think we'd probably do it as uneconomical, because I thought we were going to get close to £200. As it happens, I managed to pick up a genuine Shimano crankset. I did look, there was alternate cranksets available, so you could get a OEM kind of cheap one, and you know what, it wasn't that much different, but you just know they're not going to last as well. So I think we've got a bit of a steal here. We've got, the bike's obviously lasted a fair amount of years with what it's got despite the chain, so as long as we keep replacing the chain, there's no reason why this bike now shouldn't go on for another 10 years, as long as the chain gets changed about every 2 years. The rider's quite heavy on them. He's quite aggressive and powerful, so he rides this, believe it or not, he rides this bike when we go out on our road bikes, you know, with the skinny tyres, and he comes out and rides this and keeps up with us, right? So he's a strong lad, and obviously that's taken its toll on the drivetrain, and the chain didn't get picked up quick enough that it was knackered, and it's taken out the front and back cogs, which is, it's not good, but it's good because it kind of proved the point that I've said on other videos, where you've got to change your chain as soon as it's worn, because if you don't, it will cost you significantly more. So a chain's a tenner for this. To replace that and the back cog, it's best part of 80 quid. So, you know, that 80 quid could have been saved, and you could have done a couple of chains. There's no reason, because this is heavier duty stuff. They usually say three chains normally for the top end stuff, unless you're in Durace, and then it's made out of cheese. It doesn't last any time at all and costs you a fortune. But these the metal that's used in these is a lot heavier, so therefore it's a lot stronger. So what you lose in weight saving, you gain in robustness, and that's sort of the same all the way down. So the higher up you get, it gets lighter, but it doesn't last as long, and it costs a lot more as well. So there's no reason why this bike shouldn't be able to do 4, 5, maybe even 6 chains for a chain set. So, you know, that's your 80 quid almost for you've saved again. So it is what it is. I think we've picked up everything else. We've fixed a couple of bits. The back axle was a bit shonky, rumbling and grumbling a bit. That we've cleaned that up a bit. I mean, that's going nice now. Yeah, that's brilliant. That was really noisy, and I can feel through the crank arm that you can still feel it, but you can't hear it anymore. So that's good. So it all looks good. Nice chain on it. We sorted out the gear cable, because that had got corroded, so we've flipped them around and sorted that out as well. We sorted out the back indexing, because that was out. The front indexing was also out, despite the fact that the cable was completely foobarred as well. We've swapped the pedals over. We've re-greased the axles on that one. That's spinning nicely now. It's still a little bit noisy, but it spins quite nicely. That one's quite nicely packed with grease. That's why it's not noisy and doesn't spin round. That's actually what it should do. That is what it shouldn't do. We've decided to leave that alone. We've done the headset bearings on this one, and I don't think we've had to do anything with the front wheel at all, to be honest. All I've got to do is just stick the front wheel back on. Oh, and it was missing an axle spring on that side, so we just stuck them on there, just consumables. I'm not charging for that. So I think the total bill for this, I don't think I've spent anything other than the drivetrain. I think I can't remember, I either cleaned up the cable and re-greased it, or replaced it with another one, and did the full swap, put the new one on the back and put that one in there, which is one of the things I normally do. And he's got the mudguard on, so I do need to unclip the other one just in case he doesn't want that, and then we'll pop that off as one unit and unscrew it. But no, all good. Quite pleased with that. Another one saved. That's all that matters. Another one saved, right? One that could have gone, you know, just got flogged off. Because even if it had got flogged off, you know, people wouldn't thinking it. If you'd have taken it to a bike shop, they would have been quite miserable about what they would have offered it you because of the state of the drivetrain. You know, they're not stupid. They know what they're looking at, and they'll give you all the reasons under the sun why they're not going to pay you a decent price and still charge you a fortune for a new bike. You know, to buy this bike at this spec at the moment, you're probably looking at about 600 quid. You know, which isn't a small amount of cash, especially as we're in crisis everything. Now, a bike shop possibly would have tackled this, but I'm telling you now, they probably would have charged you. I think I've got about 4, maybe 5 hours worth of labour in it. Okay, they've probably lost about an hour and a half's worth of that labour because I've been deliberately trying not to spend money on parts. So, you know, they charge about £50 an hour labour. Well, some of them charge more, which is, you know, pretty much what you pay labour in a garage or a motorbike shop, to be honest now. So, you know, they would probably charge you 150 quid plus parts for this, at least, just for the drivetrain. They'd probably spin it out for what we did with the gears as well, so you're probably getting close to maybe 200 quid plus parts. You know, maybe I'm doing a disservice there. You know, maybe they only charge you 100 quid, but 100 quid plus parts, they would be getting the parts from their supplier, so they'd be paying a lot more. I was buying new old stock that was surplus stock, so it was cheaper. That came from Germany, from a surplus stock supplier. You know, that, like I said, that would have been 50, 60 quid all day long if you bought that from your Shimano reseller. So, you know, and then they'd have hit you with that, you know, you're looking at 400 quid to do it. So they would have done it, probably would have cost 400 quid, but they'd rather have sold you a 600 quid bike, and, you know, we'll give you 50 quid for your old one, you know, and it's a perfectly good bike. We've spent, what, 90 quid to put it back together again. It's probably as good as new now. I'd like to think that the gears are probably set up better than they were when they left the factory, particularly with these shonky Tawneys, but no, it's flicking through the gears nicely. Anyway, that was quite a bit of a long outro, that one, wasn't it? So I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've learned something. Put your comments down below. I'm not going to beg for the subscribe button. I used to do that, but I can't be asked to do it anymore. I haven't got a lot of subscribers at the moment. You might be watching this 2 years down the road and going through the back catalogue, and I might have, you know, the 10,000 subscribers I need to monetize it. But I'm not that bothered about monetizing it actually now. I was at the beginning. It would, you know, it was kind of part of my plan to get a monetized YouTube account. But do you know, I'm actually just enjoying this. It's quite cathartic sitting out here in the shed talking to myself in the cold. I've got more than enough bikes. I've usually got a backlog of bikes. I've probably got at least 4 people that want to bring the bikes at the moment. I've got one that's arrived today that's been on back promise since the end of the summer. Bless her, and she asked first. So it's Diane's bike. It was done exactly this time last year. It popped up on the timeline this morning, and she's brought it through again today. So that'll get a look over. That was the one that had the dodgy bearings last time, and we had to rebuild the freewheel hub completely, and then we decided just to buy another one because it was that cheap. But then I rebuilt the other one anyway. So we've got a spare that I'm reserving for her. So it's just give the bike a look over. I've had a quick look at it. I might not even make a video out of that one, unless I find something, unless I do a video on just a basic shop maintenance. There's not a lot to do on it. Most of it's sealed bearings, so there's, you know, it's just strip it down, clean what needs cleaning, grease what needs greasing, put it all back together again. You know, it's kind of a deep service. These bikes here, people bring me up to be serviced, but they don't. What they want doing is just fixing the stuff that's broken, because most of this, it's all sealed bearings. You know, if this bike was just coming in for a service, I'd have done what I've done for the back cog. So I'd have stripped the axle out and re-greased it the same. I would have done the pedals the same. I'd have checked the brakes the same. There's nothing to grease in the axles on the front because that's a sealed hub I've checked. It's sealed races in the headset as well, because I've checked that. And I would have taken the back cassette off, and I would have chucked in the parts washer and just cleaned all the shit off it, and then covered that in cleaner at the same time and left that to soak. As it happens, I've had to pick it off with my fingers, but it is what it is. So there's not a lot to service on bikes nowadays. I don't know why bike shops charge so much for it, but what we'll do is we'll get Diane's bike in, and we'll service it as far as you can service a bike, because basically this stuff does not need touching if it's running smoothly, you know. So check the chain, check the brakes, check everything, and then anything that needs cleaning, a deep clean, take it off and clean it, and that's it. And then just readjust and reset everything, you know. Check the cables are okay, they're not frayed. I mean, you could just go to town and just change all the cables, but it's just a waste of money, you know. I might give them back and the cable might snap a week later, but you know, it's not because I haven't done it when I did. It's irritating for them, but you can't tell it's going to snap unless you take it out. And if you take it out, you might as well put another one back in and then charge them £7.50, I think they are, for a flipping brake liner now. So I could do that every time, and that brake cable could have lasted another 2 years before it snapped or needed replacing. So that's, you know, that's 2 years. If I'd have done that, that's 14 quid that somebody didn't need to spend, you know, and it all adds up. So it is what it is. Bike's good anyway. We'll leave it there. Bit of a ranty one again.